Hey Nickey, what are we learning today?
So today, Jackie, we will be studying about what is the future of design, how designers' job will be changed, and what they will actually work in the future.
Wow, I never thought we'll be talking about that, but it's imperative for us to talk about it right now because change is happening. And I think this video is meant to show people the real world shift that's happening globally right now, especially in big tech. And I think this will really help people to stay tuned to the reality. And often what happens, like if you follow the big tech, you'll see that trends will start cascading to any other technology in the world, including the mid-level companies and the small companies. So it's just a matter of time. Can't say like it will be in 3 months to 4 months, but hoping that it will just happen within this year where you will see a major transformation of jobs, which will align to the future. So I strongly feel that designers can build their own products now. It's not a far-fetched reality, but it's something which is happening right now. Oftentimes what happen in a product world, you're often in the backstage because engineering always take the first call and dips on everything, and it's always execution focused. So you have to start thinking from an engineering feasibility per se and start building it. But now that's kind of becoming a commodity. Today's coding will be just a language, which means you can just talk in your own language if you have a clarity. Today it's English, most probably in future it'll be local language where you can start giving your prompt and it'll build for you. And the real coding will start being how you tune the models for your use case. And we have talked about what the tuning means, what a parameter is. For a long time, designers were boxed into a very narrow image, used to only do visuals, and engineering is like the key to make anything real. So we never made anything real. We created stuffs and we have to wait and depend on engineers to make sure that it actually sees the light of the day. But it's not the main blocker anymore. We are known for our imagination. You remember back in times we used to often imagine how the world would be, and that's the real reason why I used to like sci-fi movies. So I still remember back in times I used to watch Harry Potter, then we used to love Transformers, and then like all the Christopher Nolan moments. Now, what are they? They are visionary. They imagine stuff which normal people can do, and because it's a film, they could actually show you those text and how the experiences of future are. But today,
Right.
I feel Nolan kind of people can actually make those things reality with an AI. They have such a good clarity on what they want, how they want, and I think Nolan kind of people will be massively benefited with this advanced technology. Again, coming back to the designer's world, think in this way. So once your idea is validated, you can then create a proto. Don't think like this proto is just a Figma proto, but a real functional proto. And today it's just a functional proto. Tomorrow it could be a production ready proto, because the models are getting better every day. So, and then you can bring those really good tech people, not for coding, but to think from a scalable solution per se, from security, and then to how to increase the performance. The engineers will be solving this kind of systemic challenges in future. And there's nothing like a coding. The creation of these services and products will solely again be in the vicinity of designers.
Right. I also wanted to add one thing. So even if we're getting tech people to execute the end product, it is not necessary now we need a lot of people. It's just that with few people also, we can ship a product very easily. So that's also one change that AI has got in today's world. Also, if you want to work in advanced spaces in the future, like metaverse, or if you want to create AI native products, it's a given fact now. In today's world, AI will be the foundation of all products. So a designer has to learn how to design AI native products. That's like given.
Don't worry, guys. We got it covered. Now, what we did is we went in the internet. A few top companies were actually setting the benchmark in the world with their own tech and niche. Like the first one is Microsoft, and we know like they're the giants in the space. And then we have Anthropic, and you know Anthropic, they're the companies who have the Claude models and one of the top frontier closed system company. And then we have Meta, you all know like Facebook, and they all have the Llama models. And then they're also working on metaverse and other technologies. In the last but not the least, we have
the browser.
you must have been using a lot, and it's one of the designers' most top browser called Arc browser. And now they have also released one more semi-agentic browser called Dia. One of the first company who have started building this agentic browser. They reimagine how this browser experience should be, and it's very important for us to follow these kind of companies. In this video, we'll be going and looking at how the JDs for these 4 companies are, and this should be a first-hand checkpoint for you to understand this is the world has started moving.
Yeah, so essentially in these all job description, we'll be covering how a UX designer's role is evolving, how it is changing, what are the things that you guys have to prepare, and how we can thrive in this era.
Other top companies like OpenAI, you can go and look around linear kind of companies and see how the design jobs have evolved. It will be a really good exercise for you to be in tune with the reality. So guys, go and have a look and comment us if you find anything else. Just paste us in the comment and we'll just do it and send it across to you.
So Jackie, let's just talk about the first company, that is the browser company. And we all know that we've been using Arc browser and now we have Dia. So this is a role of a design engineer.
We're not going to go like what's browser company, but if you can scroll down a little bit, see here it's defined like what kind of roles and responsibility for a design engineer. We've been getting a lot of messages from people. Why are you calling design engineer? Why not designers? We are designers. But trust me guys, we are designers. We will be designers. And design engineer is just an evolution of designer, which means we're not just thinking, we're not just imagining anymore, but our imagination needs to see the light of the day. That's why we call engineer, because engineering makes it reality. Now engineering, you're not going to do alone. You're going to do with the help of AI. But when you can do it, then why it's designer anymore? You basically are doing design plus engineering. And you can see the same reflection here.
This is what exactly is written here. The first line that they have written, ship end-to-end design for Dia. So this means that a UX designer's role essentially has changed just from doing the layouts, creating the UI, now to build and ship a product.
100% right. And if you see our past videos, you can also see that we've been talking about why strategy is so important. And you can clearly see they're asking you to design AI first software, which is also called AI native software. You have to think beyond clicks. You have to think beyond manual inputs. You have to think beyond ask by users. The new reality will be moving away from just being reactive to more proactive. How do you help user? How do you nudge user? How do you aware the user about things which you might have never thought about it, and that's how you empower them. And you'll be seeing the first product which we'll be showcasing to you in next week. Reimagine a simple problem and show you how a native product actually is. So this will be the key part. Unless you know what's an AI native product, how you're solving the problem from a different lenses, where AI is the foundation, you will never be able to design end to end.
Now in the third point, if you see that earlier what used to happen, we used to create concepts in Figma and then we used to create micro interactions and then we used to show to our stakeholders. But now, as a design engineer, what is required is we'll be using vibe coding tools and we'll be creating quick concepts and we'll be showing that to the stakeholders.
One more thing they're asking is motion concepts. You can't be just yourself by saying that I'm just a motion designer or I'm just an interaction designer. We talked about this in an earlier video too. Today, you should also start designing the emotions. How would the people feel when they look at your animations? What are the emotions you're trying to evoke? Now, sense also will differ from people to people. How are you creating those dynamic policies, which AI will create those animation on the runtime? You don't even have to do that. Gone are the people who actually will be editing in some softwares to create these animations. No, animations, motions and everything define how you feel it, what kind of feelings you want to create. So in a nutshell, you have to be good and knowledgeable around different aspects of experience. Think about how you experience a Mac product, how you experience software. Just think how you experience iOS software over Android. You should be director. You can be a person who can just claim himself be a specialist. And then you can see again, you will be also closely partnering with engineers. How you partner with engineers, if you can't speak their terms, you got to know how the backend works. What's an API? What's a DB? What's a vector DB versus relational DB versus non-relation DB? What are caching mechanism? In the front end, what is DOM? How do you do the context passing? If you know these concepts, again, you don't have to code it. You have to know the concepts of how softwares work. And the agent can too on behalf of it. But if you don't know these concepts, how will you make the agent do something? Here, they're asking 8+ years design experience. I strongly believe in just few years, this 8+ years, this threshold will be just gone in a moment. I feel if you have strong skills, if you know how to actually design experiences, even if you're a high school dropout, I can give you an example out of it. I forgot the name of the person, but there's this high school dropout who is a senior engineer in Anthropic, and I think he created the Bun software, and he works with the guy who created the Claude code. And he's just a high school dropout, but he know in and out that now he is working in such a big tech, and he's creating something that he feels is helping the world in being a better place. Because they're writing 8+ years. Guys, you don't have to worry. You feel you're a designer, it should come inside from you. I feel the strong designers are the people who can evoke emotions. And I've seen these people are not from big schools. They are so humble people. And same thing again, they're asking Figma, linear notion, and they are saying like I'm excitement to prototype with LLM. And again, this is some like 4 or 5 months old post. Today, if they would post it, the recruitment team must be only looking at people who can vibe code, because it's far more easier. We have been doing this a lot, and we have been getting such a profound understanding of how to build products with agents.
Yeah, so if you really want to prototype with LLMs, first you need to understand about LLMs, and that's why we've created some videos for you guys to actually see what LLMs are and the core concepts of LLMs, such that you can actually create better products with. So now the next company that we are going to talk about is Microsoft, and this is again the job role of a UX designer has changed to a design engineer, and we can see that here in the responsibilities,
design engineer can do both the part. We just can eliminate designers who are solely only imagining and engineer who are solely hardcore. It's just a strategic way of seeing how this role will flourish. So they can eliminate designers today, maybe not the engineers hardcore, but what they're trying to position design engineer. They're saying that you have to talk to designer, but so basically, are you not creating designs? Yes, you have to work on the design strategy and everything. So you are basically a designer. And then they're saying that you have to also work with vibe coding in Figma. So vibe coding is an art of creating apps and products using agent. There is a product in Figma called Figma Make, which is a vibe coding tool. It's a tool. You are not going to be successful with the tool. You need to know the art of creating product. And that's how you have to start learning. If you think that, oh, I use Lovable, put up a prompt there and just generate an app, or maybe use Bolt cursor, you're just wrongly understanding the whole concept of vibe coding. Vibe coding is more about what the product is the strategy. Once you start doing vibe code, you will be more aware of the code, and then you can start pushing the codes to the repository like in GitHub and start contributing to your PD. But it's just a matter of time. The hardcore designers will be wiped out from the industry, and these people will be the main core folks who will be doing both the work. And they're also asking you like eval toolkits and AI framework. And yes, we talked about this in our first video, what an evals thing, and we'll be going more detail in the upcoming videos to teach you like what's an eval. In the future, there's not going to be any manual testing anymore. So because what are we going to test? So in order to test how the AI outcomes are in the real world for the product, then you have to start setting the evals. What is an AI framework? So how do you create? There are different kind of framework, LangChain, LangGraph, and then the orchestration policies. Like, do you want to create like sequential? You want to create a group where you have multi-agent system. So these are the key things that you have to start learning. And then the models. I was talking about this in our earlier video, how important for us to know about what models are, because it helps us in understanding which model can be better used for which use case. What's the power of this model? Model excels at A, but it's really bad at B. But some models are equally good at A and B, and then there are some models which are good at B but bad at A. So you need to know how you can leverage these different models. Now think about it. So you have a team of 6 people, and the 6 people are designers. Some is good at motion, some more good at visual. So you need to know that when the product is built as a manager, where you have to utilize which person to get maximum efficiency. And you can also see here like in required qualification, design engineer is at 3 years plus. But know about platform engineering and UX, but that's something you can learn on the go. It's not tough. It's not coding anymore. It's about the concepts of what's the front end is, what's the back end is, what's a database, and it's really easy. Trust me, guys. In the bottom preferred qualification is asking you that to work on CI/CD pipeline, which is continuous integration and continuous deployment. And it's again, these are the concepts you can start learning how Kubernetes works, how Dockers are. Again, as a designer, even I don't know a lot of stuff. We are learning. But what is the CI/CD pipeline? I know the concept. I don't have to be go technical. Even models can help you in defining the architecture when you use Kubernetes, but you need to know what it is used, when the Redis cache is used.
Yeah. So you should actually know how a backend front-end works, what is the role of DevOps, concept level things you should know as a design engineer. So the next company that we're going to talk about is Meta, and the role is product designer.
And if you can see here, it didn't mention as design engineering, but I can show you it will just take few months to change the name. You see like preferred qualification is vibe coding. Do you see like how things are getting changed? And other thing you can see like they're asking strategic product thinking. So yeah, designers will play strategy, and I've been talking about this long time back.
So the last company that we're going to talk about is Anthropic, and the role is founding design engineer.
Yeah, and the real important point that you guys have to start focusing is in the second point, which is asking you to do an end-to-end prototype, which means front end and back end. A lot of guys will get scared like, oh, front end, back end. But just think about it. Are you designing front end, back end as a coding? No. Do you need to know the concept of how the front end and back end works? Yes. How tough is that? It's not tough. Coding? Yes, you need to memorize a lot of things when you start coding in JavaScript, HTML, CSS, probably in Python, Java, I don't know. Now the intent is, you know how a React is. You know what is a runtime is. For example, Node.js. What kind of tech stacks do you use in front end, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and you use libraries like React, or you can use framework like Next.js. If you use React library, in the backend you have to think like, do I have to use Express.js, or do I have any other tech I want to use? So learn about this text. It's not tough. There are a few concepts. You don't have to learn the coding aspect, but a React basically works in DOM. Learn about those things.
So adding to that, everyone here is on the same board. We are also UX designers. We are also on the same board. So what I want to tell you is that we are trying to build a community around UX designers. If you guys have any sort of questions, if you have any sort of doubt as to what is front-end design, what is back-end design, we can also help you understand it better through our videos. So we are together in this boat, and we want us to thrive in the AI era. That's our goal for this channel. So whatever doubts you have, if you're not understanding a basic concept, DOM, cache, whatever, if you're not understanding that, you can write in our comments and we can create videos around